Johnny Fontana, real NF Scorpio, back with another video.
We spend our lives on the internet. We're no longer really interacting with people in the real world. You know, even if you're walking down the street, you're on your fucking cell phone all the time. You go home, you chat on Facebook. Probably most of your friends, you chat with them more on Facebook than in person.
Today we're going to touch on an incident that happened to me, right? We're going to talk about how to diffuse deep analytical emotions, right? So you're probably wondering, what is that, all right? So in short, deep analytical emotions is when you just basically sort of freeze up and you sort of start to dwell and just analyze a situation that basically occurred, right? It can come in various forms, but let me give you this particular example that I experienced today, and you can sort of apply it in all other areas as well. Okay, I mean, I can't really determine specific examples off the top of my head. It just comes based on what I'm experiencing, right? So let's go ahead and get with the example that happened today, and you'll sort of see how things fall into place, right? So I have my car in the shop, right? It's getting painted, and went yesterday, dropped off the car, right? Sort of read, the body language. The owner immediately turned off or lowered the volume, when I entered. It's like a paint shop. It was at night though, so they were getting ready to close. So I guess they were doing their thing, having a beer. They were closing shop. It's a very well-known shop, so the guys, they're credible, so it's not even an issue there. So just give you some background, right? Upon leaving, I had my wife. She was actually giving me a ride because I dropped off my car. So as we were leaving, he waved, which is cool, and I just get the overall vibe from him, which is good to go. So today, he had told me that, hey, listen, I'm gonna call you tomorrow around 10. Give you, the breakdown, what to expect, and from there we can go from there, right? In terms of the overall pricing and everything else. Cool. So I get a call today, and it's a cell phone, right? Obviously you can tell because it's got the person's name, and a female, which I believe is his assistant, says, hey, hi, is this Johnny? This is such and such from the paint shop. We would like for you to come down, put down a down payment, and also discuss, the color of the paint and all that stuff more in detail. We've already started on the body work. I said, whoa. I said, how am I supposed to put a down payment when we haven't even discussed, the actual total, right? She's like, well, just come down and you'll talk to Johnny, which is the owner, and he can brief you on what it is that he'll be doing, and then you just come make the payment. I said, I understand, but man, I'd like to have like at least an amount that I can work with, just. And she was a little like haste, right, in her delivery. She was quick, as if like she was just annoyed. She was like, well, just come down, And I'm like, man, I said, I'm the customer, right? You don't have to be so forceful or irritated. And something happened, just briefly, and she said something about, I thought I dropped the call or something like that, whatever. But her tone sort of like recalibrated like quickly, right? And I could tell that obviously the owner was in the background. So she said, okay, so I'll pass you over to Johnny. But nice and politely, right? She basically came off the horse. But afterwards, it went dead, right? So the phone got disconnected. Now, I definitely know that it was a purposeful hang up, right? So I waited. Obviously, that person called me, so I waited 5 minutes. But while I'm waiting, I'm just steaming, right? Like I'm just to the point where like I can't believe this just happened. Like I'm going. A lot of things was going through my mind. Like do I want to continue with it? What kind of customer service is this? Like why are they calling me back? All those. Let's say you were previous dating and text someone or someone says, I'll call you back, and they never call you back, and you're sitting there, you got all stuff going through your head. That's just one of those examples or situation that I was experiencing. So similar to that. Sorry, I'm all over the place. And so finally I decided I'm gonna call. So I called. I said, and then it was Johnny that picked up, and he was like, yeah. Need you to come down, and we talked about the price yesterday. So what's the problem? I'm like, no. I just didn't know, what have you. I wasn't expecting, just to come down, without having a quote or anything like that. He goes, yeah, we talked about it yesterday, and with the other modifications, that's going to be separate, but at least you can still make the down payment. I said, yeah. So I said, bro, just to let you know that I'm not that dude. He's like, I just need to get the car out of here, I don't want it to be too long. I'm like, all right, no problem, yeah. So I'll be there this evening. Then I got off the phone, and in my mind, I'm like, but it's like everything was going through my mind, and it's like one of these things, like it just like, it becomes paralyzing, right? Because now you can't focus. Now if someone comes to you or something, it's like, hey, get away from me. I'm deep in my thought. Like I just experienced this right now, and like I'm so like, what do you call it again? So overwhelmed, by that brief experience. And so how I have learned, right, to sort of deal with these deep analytical emotions is to go through them, right? Like when you talk to people, a lot of people will tell you, don't worry about it. I'm just it's not worth it. Whatever. Just like let it go, whatever. For us, there is no letting it go. That's why it's like, be careful who you speak to, because they'll condition you to just, let it go. No. Guess what? By us, okay, not dwelling, but assessing and figuring out is how we learn the different ways to maneuver and navigate around different types of individuals, right? So in my mind, I'm playing out different scenarios. If I go over there, if I take this approach, So we need that, okay? You need to go through, but at the same time, you need to be able to not freeze, right? That's one thing that I got caught up today, and I froze, like, so stuff that I needed to get done, I'm sitting there, overthinking in here, and just like, while I'm supposed to be doing other stuff, my actual work, and I'm just here like, like pondering, taking moments, trying to figure out like how, because in my mind I'm like, how, I'm a customer, like how could they feel that they can just, talk to me like that, or not talk to me like that, but be so abrasive, when like I'm the paying customer, like I don't get it, like, and then a lot of things are going through my mind. I'm like, they're probably, used to dealing with, people with insurance issues and this, that, and the third, and they may not be as trustworthy, so they may think that I'm gonna skip out and not make the down payment, because it was for $1,000. So all these are going through my mind. So then I thought, okay, how am I going to approach it? Because at that point in time, I was like, I'm gonna leave my job and I'm gonna go, because it wasn't too far away. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, confront them. Like, hey, what's going on? But then I'm like, if I do that, then they may get defensive just because of how they are. Because remember, okay, because reading, understanding situations, you're not dealing with regular folks. When I say regular folks, you're not dealing with people, you know, like at your office, right? Or at school, or, you know, just you're dealing with people at a paint shop, okay, very labor type individuals who deal with people all day. So for them, it's easy for them to just be like, oh, you know, brush people off and be cold and be, you know, sort of short with them, right? And so now it's like, okay, do you take that personal, or do you understand that? Do you understand where that comes from? So I said, if I take it away, if I go to them and I say, hey, you know, what's going on? Like, what's with the attitude? You know, they may then turn around and become defensive. It's like, hey, listen, okay, hey, you want this job done? You don't want it done? Okay, here, take your money back. Okay, go. Like, they may take that approach. So I was like, I'm not trying to really have that, because then that's gonna incite and elevate the situation. So I said, but I said, I don't want to just let it go, because I have an option of just going in there, making a down payment, acting as if nothing is rare. But I said, that's not me. I need to confront the situation, because again, we get caught up in the why. Like, why did that happen? Like what possessed that person, you know, to think that they could just be so whatever. And, you know, so you feel also just like, oh, what the hell? Like, you know, like, who are you talking to? Like, I'm the customer. Like, what the heck is, you know, what's going through here? Like, the audacity, right? But then I said, no, don't take that approach. Take the more humorous approach, right? So I ended up going there, and then he was there, and I said, hey, Johnny, what's up? Okay. I said, hey, Johnny, hey, what happened today, bro? Like, you know, yeah, you're all right? Everything's okay? He's like, no, bro. You know, you were supposed to come in, you know, to make the down payment or whatever. No, I know, but it's just, I didn't get the, you know, quote. I didn't know, whatever. He's like, yeah, but that's what happens all the time at paint shops. No, I see, the thing is, this is my first time at a paint shop painting my car. I didn't know. You see what I'm saying to you? So, you know, okay, yeah, you know, misunderstood, you know. But then after that, you know, he showed me, you know, what was going to be done, whatever. We went to the office. We ended up talking about motorcycles, and everything was just sort of whatever. But here's the thing. This is not where the how is. I had to now take that approach and sort of butter them up, you know, and then be a little bit more this, that, just to feel them out, to sort of get that short, you know, whatever away. Because I think people tend to be a little bit more whatever when they're over the phone or over the computer, but when you confront them, you know, and then you ask them, hey, what's up? What happened? You know, but not in a confrontational way, but more of like a, hey, you know, I felt like as if I know him, as if I knew him. I was like, hey, brother, what's going on? Hey, you know me, hey. It's like, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? I've only interacted with you twice, you know. Once when I told you, hey, 3 months from now I'm coming to get my car painted, and last week when I said I'm coming, you know, this week, and last night. So, you know, I don't even know you. But again, but because I don't know these people, but because I know of them, again, because reading body language, having dealt with people similarly to that person, understanding how to sort of navigate, you know, I feel like I really know that person. So I took that approach, you know. But then, yeah, I mean, we left, shook his hand. I mean, then it was like nothing happened. So my point is that, yeah, like, you're going to have that brief paralyzing moment of like, what happened? Why did they do that? Who do they think they are? You know, it's like, why would they even think to this, to it's like, are you serious? Like, why? You know? Or if someone says something to you that is just like, why would they even say that? You know? And so you want to counter that. And then for us, it's, sometimes we get to that point, you know, especially as Scorpios, of confronting, of like dissecting, you know. Hey, you know, like, I get that about that, but why would you do this, or why would you do that? You know, instead of just moving along and accepting and not taking it personal and just just running away. It's like we get into this whole, whatever. But again, some people may say, yeah, just it's nothing, just let it go. Choose your battles. Don't chase after every squirrel. Fine, I get that, but I'm a great proponent of figuring things out, but doing it in a way that doesn't paralyze you for too long. You know what I'm saying to you? I know my delivery is not as clinical as I would want it to be, but what I'm trying to say is like, and also what helps me too is finding the right people who I can discuss it with, right? So like I had a friend of mine, a coworker, my subordinate, and I was able to say, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, here's the situation, and I was about whatever like that, and he was like, oh well, yeah, I'm not into confrontation. I just let it go. So you can tell, but then I was like, okay, but here's the situation. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh, now you put it that way. Yeah, it's a little different, And then so I went to speak to someone else, and that person was like, whatever. And then I went to speak to someone else, and yeah, like that's my approach. Like my approach is to speak about it. Like, cause it's bothering me, talk to people, and that's one of the things that has helped me throughout my career is that I have the right people around me who I can say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Now, in the past, I've had it where I've actually, what do you call it again? Got to the point where I'm asking too many questions and I really know the answer, but I'm just like seeing, okay, whether I'm going to get another answer, right? But it's like I'll ask this person this question and I get that answer. But it's not because it's like they haven't given me the right answer. It's just that they haven't given me that real deep perspective. It's like, like that perspective that makes you step back and say, now I see, because they're able to take this and says, okay, the reason why they did this and that. So one person he was discussing with me, he's like, hey, but you gotta listen, you gotta take their situation at hand, right? It's like, what did that person who was on the phone with you, what did that person deal with? Or what was that person dealing with? Maybe there was pressure. Maybe, maybe it was the fact that she was on the phone and, the owner was there telling her what to do and she was caught in between, and certain people don't know how to react, when they're caught in between, because you have the customer sort of like, being a little bit like, okay, well, why am I going to have to do that? And the boss is telling her, yeah, you need to do that. So obviously, whatever plan didn't go through. So now she's getting a little bit of, the resistance from the customer. So now she's sort of like, oh, well, how am I handling? Hey, just come. I don't have to deal with the situation. So you got to take these things into consideration as well. But again, it's like that's who we are. Well, most people, they don't even think about that. They haven't even reached this whole of, oh, well, you got to figure out maybe she was this and that because, she was caught in between me being resistant and the boss maybe, saying, hey, I want this done. So most people don't even go there, but we do. But guess what? That's what helps us, because in the future, we know how to handle these situations. That's why we're masters at knowing and understanding human dynamics, because we go through these scenarios in our heads and we try to figure out what was that, why was that, and that's also sometimes we give the benefit of the doubt, right? Because we're just all analyzing a situation, be like, oh, well, that happened here, that's why. So I'm understanding, and you're so forgiving, but that could also be why we get taken advantage of sometimes. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying to you, because we're just so like forgiving and understanding, and oh, I see that,
We spend our lives on the internet. We're no longer really interacting with people in the real world. Even if you're walking down the street, you're on your fucking cell phone. Now, this is not necessarily your fault, it's just the direction we're going in, and this is the cool thing about going out and socializing with people. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's like, go out and like as a little daily ritual, every day just talk to 3 new people. If you just do that, you will get so much fucking value, because that's how you develop that social intelligence. And then, as someone said here, it's like start noticing the different dynamics. Start asking yourself, okay, what was the person thinking or feeling? Don't just get so caught up in you, because that happens too. You're going up, you're like, what about me? Will they see the little wrinkle in my shirt? Are they judging me? Can they see this? Oh my God, what are all these other people thinking of me? It's like me. It's like, get out of your head. Okay, what about this other person? What are they feeling? What are they thinking? What happens if I say something like this in this context? What if I say it this way? Okay, that doesn't click. What about like this? And then you start recognizing different patterns. That's the key to social intelligence. It's massive social references and pattern recognition. You go out and you interact with thousands upon thousands of people. You're gathering more social experiences than most people would in their entire fucking lives. And then you start getting a feel for what's appropriate and when, and that's a fucking skill set that more and more people are lacking.
So just be careful, right? In these situations, when I say diffuse that deep analytical emotion, it's don't like sit there and freeze up, and take that emotion and run with it. Come back, run these scenarios in your head. Obviously, continue your work. Don't let it affect your work. Don't let it affect the people around you, especially if you have kids, whatever like that. Go about it, but then find someone. You need someone, that you can be able to talk to. You can always email me, info@boothvitatv.com. We can always discuss that. You know me. Like, I don't go into the comment sections, but you can always, if something happens, email me, and boom. I don't have the answer right then and there. I'll make sure that I find a way to get ahead and give you that answer, right? Because I go through these scenarios. Again, I'm 40 years old, and I've been doing this for a long time. So there's probably not a scenario that I haven't come up against, right? And basically, you just play the scenario out. Why? Was it this? Because of this? Boom, boom. Especially when you have time. When you don't have time, it's tough. Because you'll be like, what? You said that? Oh, why didn't you say that? Or sometimes for me, I black out, because of my intensity. I'll just black out. I'll say something, boom, and later on, I'm like, I can't believe I said that. Oh, man, I wonder what that person's thinking now. Oh man, maybe I was a little too tough on that person. And you just start overthinking and analyzing, and it's like, But again, it's just being able to just diffuse it. And then now when you approach the situation, be a little bit more humorous, Still confront it, right? Because you need to confront it, right? Not just let it go, because you don't want people to walk over you. But when you confront it in a more humorous way, hey, you're all right, you're good, you were a little bit, short, what's going on, were you hungry, something like that? Did you not have lunch? Just be, work with it, but still get your thing across, and that way someone who you're dealing with may not get as defensive, because if you take the, hey, what's up, like, why was your, assistant so short with me, then they'll get more defensive, and the next thing you know, business may just, fall apart. So anyway, Johnny Fontana, real NF Scorpio. Just wanted to get that across. If you have a question, comments, or concerns, put it down below. Obviously, I don't read my comments. I'm sorry. Just I don't like the whole infighting thing. So, but if you need to contact me directly, info@boothvitatv.com. We out.